Merhaba, bu akşam yayınımızı İngilizce yapacağız. Deniz'i bekliyorum. İnşallah. Sesimiz rahat geliyor mu? İlk onu bir sorayım. Do you hear me? You guys can hear me okay? I'm assuming you can hear me okay. If you can, okay. So. Okay, we're waiting for Deniz to come. Bu akşam yapacağımız programa benzer bir program inşallah Cuma günü yapacağız. Fakat bu akşam İngilizce denemek istedik. Sadece Türk olmayan arkadaşlarımıza da İngilizce konuşan bir gruba da denemek istedik. Onun için kusurumuza bakmayın. Evet, sorular geliyor. Neden Türkçe değil? Onu açıklamaya çalışıyorum. İngilizcesi olmayan arkadaşlarımız için çarşamba günü bunu tekrar edeceğiz. Bu aslında bir evvelki çarşambanın bir tekrarı gibi olacak. Evet, Deniz geldi.
Hello.
Tamam.
Canım benim.
Hoş geldin.
Hoş bulduk.
Start with Turkish.
Okay.
Hoş geldin. Arkadaşlara da bir anlatmak için söylüyorum. Bu akşamki programımızı İngilizce yapıyoruz. Arkadaşlar sorular neden İngilizce yapıyorsunuz? Zira bu program aslında daha evvel yapmış olduğumuz bir programın aslında bir parça tekrarı olacak. Ve olması da çarşamba günü inşallah gene beraber olacak. Onun için bize kızmasınlar. Özür diliyorum bu sefer İngilizce olduğu için. Ama dışarıdan dinleyen diğer arkadaşlarımıza da İngilizce seslenebilmemiz için. Çünkü bu konu biraz yabancı şeyleri de alıyor. Onun için şimdi birazdan İngilizceye döneceğim.
Aslında kardeşlerimizle bugün ben bu yayına ilişkin de ufak bir canlı yayın yaptım ve şunu da söyledim. Hani bizim hepimizin ilk başta öğrenmemiz gereken şey paylaşımcı olmak. Efendimizin en önemli özelliği Aleyhisselatü Vesselam ve peygamberlerin en önemli özelliği empati kurabilmek. Şu anda biz dünyada böyle bir şeyi, bir pandemi diye dünyanın içine girdiği bir krizde birçok Müslüman kardeşimiz var dünyanın birçok tarafında. Sesim geliyor değil mi Kerim?
Benim gayet güzel geliyor.
Benimki?
Seninki de gayet güzel geliyor. Tamam. Yani bizde problem yok.
Sıkıntı yok. Bugün kulaklık takıp geldim de çok teknolojiyi yükselttim. Biliyorsun beni teknolojiyle. Ve bana da çok sitem geldi ama tabii aynısı olur mu bilemiyorum. Çünkü her seferde tecelli farklı oluyor biliyorsun yani. Allah'ımızın iletmek istediği şeylere inşallah vesile olmaya çaba gösterdiğimiz ve aradan çekilmeye çalıştığımız için. Ama önemli olan özellikle bence şu anda tüm insanlığı, tüm kardeşlerimizi birleşmeye çağırmak ve gerçekten artık bir olduğumuzu ve hepimizin aynı Rabbin kulları olduğumuzu, hepimizin aynı peygamberlerin öğrencileri olduğumuzu, hepimizin birbirimize telkin ederek aksi halde bunun Adem ve İblis arasındaki bir savaş olduğunu fark ederek artık bir olmamız gerektiğini, aksi halde hepimizin çok büyük zarar göreceğini kabul etmemiz lazım. Bu sebeple arkadaşlarıma da rica ettim kardeşlerime. Ali İmran'la ilgili bugün bir şey oldu. İtalya'da gördün. In Italy, I was like so happy and I was like so touched that the Surah Ali Imran was being read and recited and I was like, I cried so much. Ali İmran'la ilgili çok ağladım ve kardeşlerime de şunu rica ettim. Hep biz duymak istemeyelim. Biz de vermek de isteyelim. Let's try to give all together and each and every one of us choose one verse of the surah. Bir sure, bu Ali İmran suresinin bir ayetini seçin ve onu siz İngilizce diliniz döndüğünce altına yazın ve İtalya'daki bu kardeşlerimizin de anlamasını sağlayalım. Bu hepimizin misyonu. Çünkü bizim ümmetimiz, Muhammedi ümmet öğretmen olarak buraya gelmiştir. Şahit ümmet olarak gelmiştir. Rol model ümmet olarak gelmiştir. İnşallah bu görevi layıkıyla yapalım. Hep ben demeyelim, sen diyelim ki inşallah biz olmayı becerebilelim.
İnşallah bunun tekrar çarşamba günü yapacağız. Biraz İngilizceye dönüyorum. Belki İngilizce, Türkçe karışık yapabiliriz. Onu görelim. There are a lot of people who want us to actually do it in Turkish, so we're going to be doing this on Wednesday.
Sure.
Maybe the same thing, maybe something similar. But for the ones they don't know us, this is the first time we're trying to do something in English. So I apologize from the get-go if we do any mistakes, because that's not our mother tongue, but we do our best to accommodate. Some of you guys know me, some of you guys know Deniz, and that's the reason that you guys are here with us right now. Tonight we're going to be talking about Sufism as much as we can. And the main thing that we're going to be concentrating on is what happened with COVID, and is there any relationship, and how the Sufis are actually looking at this situation right now. And the most important thing, like Denise mentioned in the beginning of the conversation, that today there was a recitation of Quran in Italy that was awesome. So it was I was very touched because of that, as much as you guys do. And now a couple of days ago, I saw people in Jerusalem with a rabbi and an imam and a priest and people from different religions. All together, they're praying to God for this thing to go away. So from our perspective, this was a great opportunity for the mankind, for us to unite. So this is the reason that we're actually doing this in English. So we try to give the words out to the people overseas and whatnot. So I just want to go ahead and start. Maybe we can do Turkish in the middle. İçeride bazen Türkçe'de konuşabiliriz arkadaşlarımız için. Ama İngilizce olarak başlayacağım. Deniz, what do you think about COVID-19, which is 19 is an important symbol from the Sufi point of view. What do you think what happened after COVID-19?
I think it's a big call from our Creator, our God, our Allah, whatever you call your Creator with the name, that you guys have to pull yourselves together and remember why I gave you the chance of being and why you asked me to have this experience in this world, and remember who you are and why you are here, and pull yourselves together. So to me, it's like, you know, in families, you fight with your sisters, with your brothers, which is so normal, with your father, with your mother, because generation differences and the way we understand each other, and our brains are not the same. So even if we look at a tree, the way I see green is not the same that you see green, because our brains are different, our interfaces are different. That's why none of us see these things the way they are and the way we see them. That's why actually it's a miracle that two people get along with each other. That's why our Creator gave us a book that says, okay, look, for you success is money, for you success is 2 buildings that you have, for you success is this and that, but for me success is your modesty, is how you treat my family, how you treat my people, and how you find the godlike, I don't know what to call it, hakika, in you, the reality in you that is hidden in your animal body. Yes. So COVID-19 says, just like when there's a fight in the family, you pull yourself, you know, you just hit each other in that. but suddenly when something comes from the outside, you learn to become one. So COVID makes us reminds us of the ayah, the verse with the Iblis, the devil, demon, whatever you call that, and Adam. We are all Adam's children. Actually, we are all Noah's children because we come from the second Adam, which is Noah.
Second generation.
Yes, second generation. And humankind has gone through this so many times. And there has so many Adams came and they have been through the same stages, and then they terminated their generation as well. Now, you, me, and the people who had been given the chance by our Lord to just a little bit remember and try to find out what is going on. Now we have to warn each other, ourselves, each other, and all the world to unite back again. Otherwise, we will all go down.
Right. This reminds me, when I asked my mother about the same thing, she reminded me, this is almost like the way that we're turning around the Kaaba. Kaaba is something in the middle, you know, it actually is the midpoint of all the energies in this world. Now, when we turn around Kaaba, it actually makes a bigger energy. It creates a bigger energy. Now, it looks like my mother says to me, it is almost like we're all of the people, right, turning around Kaaba and having an energy created. Now, this energy, unfortunately, even you go to Kaaba, you have the same thing. There are bad people, there are good people. I wouldn't say bad and good, but you know what I mean. You know, the negative and the positive.
Yes.
Now,
Polarity.
Right, that's exactly, the polarity. Well, when you go to Kaaba with that energy, with that much of an energy, what happens is, if you have a negative energy, you go away. If you have the positive energy, you go in, you become close to Kaaba. So the 19th of COVID resembles that. So the people, they have this negative energy inside, they kind of like moved away. And the people with the positive energy inside, they kind of got into the middle. So it's almost like it's a symbol of what's happening in Kaaba. That's the resemblance that I get from the situation.
That's so amazing because, you know, actually, you know, the way life is, we get attached and we get detached from the same things. Meaning, COVID-19 has 19 over it, right? Which is also the mature man, you know, the insan-ı kamil. We say the gamma ray brain person who is like, you know, we call, some people call them yogi, and we call them, you know, the insan-ı kamil according to Islam, and the conscious of Muhammadi. So when, on the other hand, 19, it says in Quran, be careful of that 19 that takes you to hell. So, which means that the devil is using the same science of God. There's only one thing, and the difference is how you use it. It's like you have internet. People say don't use internet, but with internet, I listen to so many Sufis. You know, beginning from your mother, you know that. And so many Sufis, but some people can use the internet for so much bad stuff. So what it's showing us is, it's the same with Kaaba. Kaaba is like this thing that they call me Sherlock Holmes, you know, because this is a blue cut glass. It makes the person's features bigger. It's like a telescope. It's like it makes the things that you hide within yourselves bigger. And it's the same thing with the devil as well. If devil, Iblis, wasn't asked to prostrate to sajda, you know, to Adam, he wouldn't know that he had these features.
Right.
So what I mean is, this is in Quran. It says in Surah Rum, in the verse 23, people, our God says that during the day and night they sleep. And now quantum physics and neurology says that we are all in a dream. In our collective conscious, we are in a dream, and that is mentioned in Quran, and that is also said so many times by our prophet. And he said, "Mutu kable ente mutu," die before you die, which means your senses are fooling you, and you have to wake up, and which is called in Quran Qiyamah. To wake up, it means the doomsday, the judgment day. We always think in the afak, we call that in the outer world, but we have to also admit that in quantum physics as well. Your brain is attached to the universe because the universe is alive. That's what Robert Lanza says. It's the quantum physicists and the neurologists, they say we are living in a controlled hallucination. We are all living in a dream. And all our collective consciousness has gone so dirty that we are in a dream together right now in the same boat of Noah's Ark, like the Noah's Ark, that is going to sink us back down in the waters, in the floods, which if we could, what does Sufi mean? Sufi means the one who dies before he dies. He dies from his senses and he sees with his heart. Because, it's very interesting, Kerim, we always talk about this with you. I'm a musician as well. And Rumi, Mevlana Rumi, Jalaluddin Rumi says that God's language is music. And when you look at our holy books, it talks about the judgment day, it talks about the doomsday, and it says it's going to be with voice, with sound, with a sound. We are all created from sound, and this is said in Quran in so many verses.
Right.
But because I'm a musician, I play the piano, and I'm a composer, I'm a lyricist, songwriter, and I know when I hear a frequency that it's out of tone, its intonation is wrong. So our heart's accord is wrong right now. Our accord is gone wrong from the way God created us, because we got ourselves dirty in conscious, because we are right now in a dream. This is not real, but we chose to make this dream altogether this way. We chose to live in this period of Adam, our Adam. And we talk about this with you in Quran. It says kafir, for example. Kafir has gone to English as cover. Kafir is the one who covers his real godlike features with his animal-like features. That's why he forgot what he truly is. And he forgot that he's a messenger of the messengers. He's a messenger of the messengers of God. And he is here to find himself, mature himself, and go to the next stage of life.
Right. The Sufis, the early Sufis that we learn from is pretty much, this is like the keshf, the thing that you find, right?
Discover.
We use the word keshf. The reason that they use the word keshf is because it's not something that's not there. It's there, but the reason that you can't see is because it's covered.
Covered.
Not only it's covered, they're talking about 70,000 different hijabs or covers. So it's very obvious that we are in the dream, and with that many covers in front of us, it is very difficult to see this. But from what I understand with the COVID-19 now, the covers are going away. Now there was you and I, we talked about this before, and Fususul Hikam of Ibn al-Arabi, the perfect book, it says there is a premonition, or there is something about the last Kamil Insan, which is the perfect human being, is going to be coming from China.
China.
Right. So that's almost like we always wait for a perfect person.
Yes.
But the perfect person, the reason that he's there or she's there is because to teach, basically. To teach and teach and teach. Now, I don't see a better teacher than COVID-19.
So powerful that it takes all the world now.
Right, right.
You know, the camel people, you know, they have like their electromagnetic fields, but this one has all the world, man. You know,
Right.
It's so amazing.
And the number 19 is almost like it's always symbolizes the kamil insan, the perfect human being. Obviously, this is like a way of thinking. Obviously, I'm not saying that's the insan kamil, but what I say is the reason insan kamil is there is to teach, and this thing actually teaches us. Now, there's another resemblance that we talked about is the dabbetul arz, which is also used in Quran, part of one of the warnings before the judgment day.
Yes.
And dabbetul arz is a living thing that actually comes from earth.
Yes.
That's the explanation of dabbetul arz. Now, doesn't that sound like it sounds like the same thing, because when God talks about dabbe, he says, I'm going to teach the people who can't understand.
Yes.
And I'm going to teach it a way that they would understand.
Yes.
So all those things makes me think about, it's coming. It's coming.
With dabbe, I've been thinking about this for a while as well. When we look at the verses of Quran, because we are connected to the universe, and actually everything is right inside our brain. So in Quran, in verses, it also says the same thing. And so we say, what's it? For example, John Wheeler, one of the best, quantum physicists, who says that the particles are not outside. Actually, we are in cooperation with the universe. We are actually creating the universe with our consciousness. In that respect, our brains and our consciousness is exactly linked to the universal consciousness. And that's why in Quran it says, what's in you is going to be reflected outside of you in the world. It's like an interface, because it begins with Ikra bismi rabbikal ladhi khalaq. And we talked about this. Ikra, the word Arabic is actually Arabic, means God's language. Yes. It's the first language that all the languages came from. So Quran includes Aramaic, includes Phoenicic, includes Hebrew, and all the languages, and also the sign languages as well. And in that it says, in Quran it says, if you want to change outside of you, what is reflected to you, you have to change inside. Which means it's the same thing what the quantum physics says right now, because they say if there's a photon right now and I look at the photon, and if I look at the photon, because my consciousness is different than yours, the photon is going to react. Otherwise, we are creating our own reality. And that's why Quran says for reality, Quran doesn't use the word reality, it uses hakika. It uses hakika. The difference between reality and hakika is reality comes from the root of res, from Latin, which means things. But Quran says what you are looking at is like an interface or your laptop. But behind that picture that you see, there is a software. There is a software that is written, and that the way you look at it is because your brain decodes what it sees in written language and in written shapes, and then you see it as a tree. Why I'm saying is, I'm going to connect this one. Dabbetul arz, yes. In Quran, when it talks about the arz, it is talking about the world, but each of us is a world as well.
That's perfect.
Yes. So dabbetul arz is you see right now a virus is taking over in the world. God is telling us a virus has taken over your conscious and your body.
Right, right.
So if you want to change what's outside, you have to now find out a way to purify your heart.
Right.
And accord goes into English as cardiology. Accord means what is in harmony with the heart.
Wow. That's
So,
pretty good.
yeah, that's amazing. In Quran, God says, think with your heart, not with your brain. Because
Right.
God knows that this is a computer, this is an interface that comes from your DNA and RNA, and it changes according to other people. But in your heart, there is where I reside. And if you learn to clean yourself, purify yourself, take all the covers, like Discovery Channel, like you discover that's what's inside of you, that is God-like. God, that has God's features, that has God's breath, you will see the reality.
Right.
So it is such a big mercy and rahmah, Kerim, because I look at it, just like you said about the Betul Ars, people who couldn't learn in other ways. We have a story here, our prophets, all the prophets are our prophets. Jesus Christ, Noah, Uzair, Joseph, they are all our prophets. They are all our teachers. With Adam, it began. The school began with Adam.
Right.
And this school is teaching us how to submit to the godlike features we have inside. Submission means Islam. So submit to your real being, to your real godlike features. God is telling us that all these prophets, we call them messengers, actually, the right word is messengers. They have come to teach us, to bring our consciousness to the highest level that we can go, and then act to help our brothers and sisters to bring their consciousnesses to the highest level that they should go. And it begins to change inside, not outside.
Right. Well, the comments are coming in. Why are we doing this in English? That's exactly why we're doing it in English, because we're actually trying to get this message out to all friends from different languages as well. So again, we're going to be doing this in Turkish, so don't worry about that. So going back to our thing, well, obviously, like you mentioned, the most important thing is the purifying the heart, because the heart is the connection that's going to happen, our body to God. And like you mentioned in the beginning, the Surah of Alaq, Alaq means the connection, because and that's amazing that God actually gives us this message in the beginning of the Quran. He says, well, you have to have the connection. If you lose the connection, then you're not going to be able to see me. And the reason that we actually live is to see Him, and this connection is very important. The connection is going to happen not through the mind; it's going to go through the heart. So purifying the heart is perfect. Now, how is COVID going to help us with purifying the heart? Now, it's kind of obvious that with what we eat right now, so much we eat, so much we drink, so many houses, so many, like the Rolls Royces, this the expensive houses, expensive vehicles and whatnot. That's not going to help us.
That's
not going to help us to actually connect with God. What's going to help us to connect with God is to actually the front, whatever you call it, the front end
frontal
of the brain,
lobe,
right?
Yes. We should think of it like this. Psychology means, it comes from the word psyche, which is ancient Greek, which means breath. So we have to ask ourselves, what is breath? Whose breath? That's God's breath. Everything is created from God's Rahman's breath, and we know that from Quran as well. So we are actually little creators as well, because as we breathe, He is breathing from us. And Jesus Christ, He took a mud in Quran. It explains this very, very well. And He put it in a shape like a bird, and with the permission of God, he breathed it into the mud, and that bird became alive. Do you know which bird was that?
I don't know. Is it tutti? I forgot.
No. Do you know? It's so interesting when I found that out. It's a bat.
It's a bat.
Yes.
Okay.
And when in China, they said that COVID comes from the bats virus. I was thinking, man, what's going on here? This is such an amazing simulation we are in, you know, because God is, you know, God has such a sense of humor. And, you know, for me, I always say cosmic and cosmic also, you know, cosmetics. We are here to become more beautiful. We are here to become, actually, in a way, it's also comic as well, because we are here like thinking we are fighting something outside. And what's going on is actually we are in a place that we are sleeping. We are getting ready to wake up to the real life, and in our dream we're fighting, we are screaming, we are putting ourselves in pain, which Quran and our God says zalim, you know, the cruel one. Zalim is also the one who in Quran, according to the Arabic of Quran, zalim is somebody who doesn't put something in the right place. Right. So God says insan, which means the one who forgot who he is. Ya ayyuhallazina amanu, ya nas. You know, God says insan, human. You know, you forgot who you are. You put yourself in the wrong place. You're going after cars, you're going after beautiful girls or men, you're going after this and that. But this is just a video that you're watching right now, and this is just a dream, and you chose to come here to find your godlike features, you to become what you wanted to become. You asked for this chance, and now you forgot all about it. And all I'm doing is trying to wake you up to the real reality that you came from and why you are here. And in that, he's using such, you know, sense of humor. Yes.
This reminds me exactly the games, the board games that we play while we were kids. So from God's perspective, we are kids, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
That reminds me of like when we were young, we were using this board games like Monopoly, right? Monopoly is very famous. And in Monopoly, it actually the resemblance is uncanny. Like, you know, you have to build like houses. You have to pay money, and then somebody goes to your home, and then you take money from them. So it's like almost like a simulation of the real world.
Exactly.
The way that the way that our demeanor goes into, like, you know, we get crazy. You know, we're like, you know, I have to get more houses. I have to get, you know, exactly like what we do in the real world. It is so funny that we're actually at the end of the game, like we're almost like we gain something, as if we gain something. We gain nothing. But during the game, like all the nefs and ego goes up, and you actually try to destroy other people. And it's a board game. And if somebody shakes the game, then you say, why are you shaking the game? This reminds me exactly of what's happening right now. There's a game that we're playing, a board game. The God is shaking the game, and we're complaining. But it's the simulation that you mentioned in the beginning of the conversation. There is a simulation. And we are like kids. We're like kids and trying to get more and more and more, and trying to actually do something during the time of this, you know, God's shaking of the boards. So I'm sorry, I got too much.
This is such a virtual reality. This is a virtual reality that we are put in, actually, and we think that we are apart from God, apart from our from the one who created us, who loves us more than our mothers and fathers, and we actually have been given a chance where actually there's no chance that we can get hurt, and that's how in Quran it talks about the ones who are muhsins. Muhsin in Quran, it gives types, archetypes of the people, of their consciousness. So when you think of, our consciousnesses, because of our brains, and if you don't treat them, especially the frontal lobe and the amygdala, if we don't treat them, and which is treated by, the things that we learn from Quran, there's a methodology. We do prayers, we wake up at night, we fast so that our brains work more, so that we come to the gamma brain waves, because only until we come to the gamma brain waves, we can see reality the way it is. Otherwise, we can't. That's why God is always trying to help us in every Ramadan, for example, to get in Jesus Christ, they say that he said, "My Father." Actually, in Latin, there was no Latin. He was talking in Aramaic. So our prophet, Jesus Christ, because he's our prophet as well, all the prophets are ours. He says, "Ma fatir," my fatir. Fatir means the one who is originator, the one who cuts you in two pieces and brings out what you have inside, which is your godlike breath, the one that you carry, your godlike feature. So they took this as like he said, "My Father." That's another issue, but there we have to learn something. In Ramadan we have iftar. Iftar also means fatir. Iftar, when you're not eating until the dawn comes and in the darkness, and after that, when the light comes, the sun comes, and you still are not eating, your pineal gland is so active that you begin to see with your heart. And God gives us 30 days for this. Actually, it's like, this world is like this virtual reality is like a training program. It's like I give you a virtual reality glasses, and I say, "Kerim, I'm going to train you for 30 days. And after I train your brain, you are going to see the way that you are supposed to see everything, the way you are supposed to see." Exactly. And now, in this virtual reality, God has given us all the prophets. We said we had so much, and in Ramadans we ate so much. For example, we didn't use it to bring out our godlike feature, but we used it like eating and eating and eating, and then sleeping and sleeping, and in other verses. But he was trying to give us a program to bring out what we have, what is covered, he was trying to discover, he was trying to bring us out to our real self. But what we did is we didn't do it the way it was supposed to be. So what he did this day, he said, "Okay, you have to eat less."
He locked us down, right? You can't go out and do all those fancy, I would last year. I remember all those people eating outside. Me myself too.
Yes.
We're because we lose ourselves. We just it's so much like we want to eat with other people. We want to eat too much. Blah blah blah. So it's amazing. Like you're not doing what God tells you to do, and you're exaggerating it. Ifrat and tefrit. And
all the prophets were given with some features, which one of them is ihsan, and the other one is that they are so grateful to everything that God gives. They are so thankful, But we have a problem. We are always complaining, So in this Ramadan, I'm so happy, For me, this is like a fair. This is amazing because we are now, like Plato, you always give the example when in the cave, which goes to, in English, the cave word comes from kef. In Quran, it said the surah kef, al-kef. The 7 people who are locked up in a cave, and they are the ones who also traveled in time, and they are the ones who found their godlike features during the Christianity period. And God says, "Go into your caves now, in your homes, lock up, eat less, now be thankful, and now think more. because in Quran he always tells us to think and think and think and think and think. We didn't have time because of the simulation is so catchy, you know. So when you go out, you forget everything. And you think that you're out. You're not out. You're in a virtual reality, glasses, you know, you're in a cage, just like Rumi says. And I want to tie it into something that, because you just said, there's such a fun conversation between my teacher, Ibn Arabi, and Mevlana Celaleddin Rumi. Mevlana Rumi says, the person in the world who is rich is like a person in his dream, who in his dream finds so much, you know, money that is hidden somewhere, but he wakes up in the morning and he says that it's a dream. He has nothing. And Muhammad Arabi says, Ibn Arabi says, okay, but the one who doesn't know that his risk, that his profits for survival are running after him, he doesn't know this. So he runs after them because he's going to leave it to his grandsons, for example, wife that he has never, he has no idea of. It's so fun. And they have this conversation. We are running after stuff that are not even real. And that is said in Quran, that's mentioned in Quran, saying, Ashya. And which our prophet is told by our God, taught by our God to say, show me what's behind the things that I see.
Right. From a etymological point of view, the Turkish, the way that they use the word Asia, the Turkish word for Asia it's an Arabic word, but what we use is nesne. Nesne is the Turkish word for Asia. Well, nesne comes from the word ne ise ne. So it's like, well,
whatever it is.
It really is. Nesne comes from the word whatever. Whatever.
Oh my God.
From our perspective, nesne means nothing to us.
Yeah.
I mean, the etymological, from the etymology point of view, the Turkish, they don't care about the Asia. They care about the hakika behind the Asia.
Yes.
The real thing. That's what you were going to say.
Yeah, you know, David Bohm, you know, I wrote about him in my books. David Bohm, for me, if you ask, he's the one who submit to God. It doesn't matter if he is from, he knows prophet Jesus Christ, because he's our prophet as well. David Bohm, he's such a wonderful person, and he's a friend of God, if you ask me. And he says, we are living, he calls these standing waves. Please check, anybody who listens to this program, please check what he says in the Turkish ones, you can find in my books. He says, the universe is made of standing waves, and these waves are what we see. All we see is only the movement of these waves. It's like you throw stones into a water, and the movement of them goes into shapes, and you see them because of the decoder that you are wearing, which is called the brain, the virtual reality glass we have because of our DNA. You see them as, you know, things, cars, girls, even yourself. You know, actually, this is just a computer. This is like a computer game. This is a simulation that God is training you. But if you don't understand the purpose of the simulation, and if you don't know who you are, and if you don't know who your creator is, and if you don't know why you are here, you get lost. Right. So in Quran and in all the holy books, and all the prophets said, remember who you are. Stop doing this. Remember who you are. Repentance, for example, tawbah, right? So it means, actually, it is self-criticization to me, if you ask. Why? Because the prophets are telling us, the messengers are telling us, listen, you are something so much more. What are you going after? And you have to complete your missions here. And if you don't, like the other ones who got lost in Surah Al-Asr, you know what it says, well, Asr, God, you know, puts an oath on the time.
Right.
Why? Because time is irrelevant. Like time is it's different when you're in a hospital, and it's different when you're with your lovely wife, you know.
Very relative.
Very relative, you know. So he says, he gives an oath on time, and he says, insan, the one who's forgotten who he is, who holds my breath, who carries my breath, he's lost.
Right.
He's lost.
Right.
So
right. Sorry. Well, I mean, this gives us the idea of how much time we have. I mean, this reminds me of, okay, well, it seems like the time that we have is not much. I mean, I'm looking at it, I'm over 45 right now, and I'm still handsome.
Yes, you are.
But I'm old, meaning it's been like 45, 46 years from when I started, you know. But it went like you know, like the wind, you know, like the wind. Now I may have a couple decades to actually live, and it's not gonna. We have to do something about it, because it seems like we don't have that much time. Especially this COVID-19 reminds us, okay, well, the end may be near. We don't know, but
we don't know.
It gives us the idea of it's there. You know, it's coming. That's a reality. We're gonna die. That's the most real thing in the world, that we all gonna die. The thing is, I don't care whether I die. I care when I die, I don't want to die you know, without completing my mission, whatever mission is given to me.
You know, Kerim, God uses the word in Quran, you know, and in Arabic, the word ru'ya. And for example, in Surah Al-Nuh, it says, don't you see? It comes from the same root with ru'ya. Actually, we are living in a dream, in just a moment that our Creator saw something, and that's eternal. It's so amazing. He just saw it, and it's so amazing. I don't know how to even explain it, how to define it. But we are in an eternal life, actually. And mutu kable en temutu, the reason that we have to die before we die is because when we die, we will wake up and we will understand that we don't die. And I think that's the saddest part, because some people who don't believe in anything, who believe in not believing anything, actually, because everybody believes in something, they say, I'm going to die anyway, so I'm going to do everything I want. You know, it's so sad that when you are buried in somewhere, and you are squeezed in between dimensions, you open your eyes. In Quran, it says, every nafs will take like a sip of death, like he will taste it for just a while. And God says, you're not going to die, because you can't die when you are carrying the breath of God. Does God die? No.
It's not going to go away.
It's not going to go away. But what will happen is, I always give this example of the movie Interstellar. He comes from the future, and you know, for the soul, there's no future, there's no time, there's no place, because God has no place, no time. You cannot cage him in anything. Right now, we think we are caged in this virtual reality glass that is called our brain, to be trained to upgrade ourselves to the next version of ourselves. Right. But because we forgot all about this, we say we came to a world, and we go to, like, say, alcohol, like say for men or women, all that, you know, then money, you run after stupid stuff, and then one day you look back and really everything is like this moment. And when you get buried, you still think that you're gonna die. So if that was the case, you would be lucky. Because you would die, okay, and you would say, I did everything I wanted to do. You don't know that this is a program. You don't know that God is right now speeding up the program with this COVID-19 thing, because you didn't use the time, which was so small. Now He is helping you with His rahmah, with His mercy, to speed up the program so that you can find the Creator in yourself, His breath in yourself. So when you are put in the, when Muhyiddin Arabi tells about the person who is put in this, he was buried, and how he wakes up and how he opens his eyes. And from the information that also, because he's a discoverer, and he got so much information from our prophet. And also, that his first teacher is Jesus Christ. Because they're all alive. Yes. Right. They're all alive. They're all our teachers. All the prophets are our teachers for the certain level of consciousness that we have to be trained for.
Right.
So when you become Musa, Moses is your teacher. When you become Jesus, Jesus is your teacher. When you become Muhammad is your teacher, alayhi salatu wasalam. So they are all your teachers for the consciousness, for your upgrade version that you have to catch up with. So this COVID-19 is a rahmah, mercy from our Allah, from our God, to speed up this educational system, because we didn't do what we had to do. And we talk about this all the time. Education means to bring out, educere, to bring out what you have inside, outside. So you don't learn something from outside. You have already that buried within yourself, within your animal body. But if you don't train your animal body, it doesn't come out from the virtual reality. If you don't break this virtual reality glasses that you are wearing, now what they are doing, this is evil. And the word evil also, I catch your attention to. Evil comes from the word Eve. We have to be careful about that. Adam and Eve is not evil, but the word that is chosen is also like really we have to think, we have to take care about this etymology, and we have to really think about why this word is chosen and how we are being manipulated in this brain, which is a virtual reality glass, which is also a computer that can be ruled by the bad and the good. So God is trying to help us train this animal body, animal conscious, so that we can go to the godlike conscious. And COVID-19 is a big teacher that has taken all the world within in its palm. And it's not even 1 gram. When you multiply it with 8 billion people, it's like 0.0000 something milligram. When you multiply it, it's not like 2 grams or something, and it's ruling you because we didn't use.
We didn't do what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, we didn't do what we were supposed to do, and we didn't use the guidelines. The word hidayah goes into English as guide. The word guide comes from hidayah, from Quran. So God is our guide. God is our friend. God is our friend. He's just trying to help us. He's our family. We have to unite all together. We have to stop killing each other. We have to first learn to say, you come first to our brothers and sisters. Doesn't matter which root they come from, because we are all the cells of one big human, Insan-ı Kamil, that's our prophet. And all our prophets are waiting for us to pull ourselves together, because most of them died for this. And how can we talk to Jesus saying, I couldn't do what I learned from you? We learned. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. And Prophet Muhammad says, if somebody is hurt somewhere in China, somebody is hurt in somewhere, anywhere, that it hurts me. And this is one of the things that you actually, you use the word iman and the word immune system, which is amazing how they fit actually. And this is something that we don't do. So that's why we're so defenseless. defenseless against all that virus or the small things, because we don't have the enough iman anymore for us to concentrate on the immune system, our immune system, because the thing that actually makes our immune system powerful is the actual iman itself.
Exactly.
And Islam, which is the last religion, it basically, it's a completion of all the Jesus and Moses, and it says you have to have iman. It concentrates on iman.
May I show something,
Sure.
Kerim? How much time do we have, by the way?
We are actually running out of time. We have like 2-3 minutes to complete.
Okay, so you know, in Ali Imran today, where in Italy that we cited, Ali Imran in the verse 19, it says, "Inna dina inda Allah Islam," which means Islam in English, submission. Okay, so God says there's only one methodology that I sent from Adam to Muhammad, and that is you have to submit. You have to submit to the godlike features you have inside, to me. Right. So all the prophets taught us how to submit to God in the level of consciousness that we are being trained for. You know, each of them represent their level of consciousness, which we have inside. It's like going to school from elementary school to university. You don't go right to the university. So with Adam it began, and with Muhammad it ended. And we have been taught how to submit to God with the methodology. And we have been taught by all these teachers how we should act, whatever people do to us, how we should train ourselves. And that it is really not the things we do in shape. It is really how we feel and how we really connect with each other and love each other. You know, muhabbat, love is the rule of this universe, and the creation's reason is love. The alaq, the interest and love that our Creator has for us. So the reason that I would link this up to what you said, I'm trying to think the last thing that you said, what I would connect.
Iman and immune.
Iman, yes. Iman, well, I think as Muslims, I don't consider myself Muslim, because for me, Muslim is also a very, very high level of consciousness. I'm not there yet. Yeah, seriously, I'm still an animal, and an animal consciousness I'm living in, and I don't know if I will ever get there. But for what I know is, Iman doesn't only mean in believing in God. Iman means trusting in God.
Exactly.
We don't trust.
Which is different, right?
Yes.
We don't trust it.
You know, I ask my readers, I ask my brothers and sisters, if your destiny was in the hands of your mother, would you feel safe? They say yes. So why don't you feel safe when your destiny is in the hands of your God?
That's
because
perfect.
Yes, we don't trust God, and if we really admit that we don't trust Him, and we try to learn to trust Him, then, you know, that's real Iman. And when you really trust in God, you know that your problem is not COVID, because the creator of COVID is also God. So, you know, our doctors, they look at your body, your animal like subject, but what is ruling, what this animal body is a reflection of the soul's belief system. So if you have Iman, your immune system, which goes into English as immune, will be strong. And, you know, you will be going everywhere and nobody's going to be touching you. Because, you know, in Ayat al-Kursi, in Hadith, God says, I am the one who gives you life. I am the one who takes life. Nobody can take your life. Instagram
is going to take us out very soon. But we're going to continue doing that in Wednesday.
Wednesday, inshallah.
Wednesday, inshallah. So thank you very much for
Thank
doing
you so much.
English. And hopefully we can continue doing that in Turkish very soon.
Inshallah. Thank you so much
I
for
hope
this.
this Instagram would actually save this, and I'll see you on Wednesday.
Okay. Bye-bye.